Because with arpeggio practice, it's not about just shredding arpeggios and getting, you know, positions and shapes down. It's about where can I find the sound of this chord and how can I do it? Welcome to lesson 2 of Making the Changes. This is a second of 12 lessons on how to outline, how to spell out the chord tones, the notes and the chords as chords change. A very fundamental skill for jazz guitar playing. Now that might sound very simple, but someone who's got a good fretboard knowledge paired with a developed ear will be able to do that fluently across the neck in many different ways. Meaning when they're improvising over jazz standards, over chord changes, they've got good command over their instrument and can say what they want to when improvising. The first lesson covered being able to do a very basic chord tone outline with quarter notes against the opening 8 bars to Autumn Leaves, like this. It's a foundation and it can be done in many ways across the fretboard. So if we carried that forward to somewhere else on the guitar, we could do it like this. Now the problem for me with this is it is just one side of the coin and it is very guitar centric. Playing vertically like that will lead us to playing finger positions and muscle memory and all that sort and getting stuck with set ways of doing things. That is part of the journey in terms of learning to establish where you can find the harmony on the guitar that you need for chord progressions, but it's not a place to stick around because it's too rigid for improvising. And the key to developing fluency and not getting stuck with set positions on the guitar, for me personally, is learning to combine playing vertically with horizontal playing. Taking say A minor 7, if we were to play it horizontally, 1 3 5 7 A C E G, we could do it in the following ways. And that is about developing your ear to say, if you're starting on an A, to hear that you can get the third. Yeah, I'm hearing this chord in my head and I can hear da, da there, but it's also there. So I've got the horizontal, da, da, but the vertical, da, da. And appreciating both is important because when you're in the midst of soloing, in the middle of improvising, those set positions are going to make you make unnatural moves. And really, I feel like if I'm on an A anywhere on the guitar, what finger I start will really determine whether I go vertical or horizontal. If I'm on my index finger, then it's probably going to make sense to get the note horizontally. But if I was on my, say, ring finger, it would probably make sense to get it vertically. Da, da. So that's how I conceptualize it and think about it. For me, the real benefit of that horizontal playing is the fact that the guitar then is laid out like the piano in a linear fashion, meaning that there's more, maybe there's that visual aspect to the intervals, like you can see the distance, which you don't get when you cross strings when playing chord tones, arpeggios. So here is a horizontal outline for the opening 8 bars. What I find if I ask someone to try and do that without, say, giving them the music, I would often find that people don't know their chord tones or their intervals because they are just playing positions. So that will really test you. And if you try to find it in different places on the guitar, it will really test you to think about the distances and to hear those distances that you don't get so readily in position playing, in vertical playing. And when you're practicing that, find it in different places on the guitar. If you just think the first chord, A, C, E, G, you can find that, just find an A on the guitar and then just go horizontally down the string or up the string, depending on how you view it. up the string, I would say, because the notes are getting higher in pitch. Sing them as you play them and really know what interval you're playing at that moment in time. And again, you can play the chords, so play an A minor 7, then find the chord tones horizontally. So like this, play the chord, A minor 7, and then find an A. But sing it as you play. Da, 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 da. It's getting a bit high for me. Find another A. Da, 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 A. And just being able to do that, being able to hit those chord tones and travel that way on the guitar neck will really force you to get to grips with the intervals in those chords, which is part of the battle with this idea of being able to make the changes. So in practice, I want you to force yourself down the side roads, if you like, down the less travelled roads. And overall, what will happen in time as you practice this, you'll end up combining the horizontal and vertical approach. And say if I did an outline like that, it might be like this. And I'll leave you with a simple rule that I do for my finding of arpeggios and playing arpeggios on the guitar. It's very simply this. If you're on the root of the chord and you want to find the third of the chord, whatever chord it might be, then you can either find that next note, the third, on the same string or on the adjacent string. That's obviously taking aside things like octave displacement and pivots, but just in a basic way, if you want to find the next note of the chord, think, where could I find it on the same string? Where could I find it on the adjacent string? And appreciating that that's going to have the same sound quality. Episode 3, so March's episode, is going to cover bringing in a bit more colour, a bit more character with the 9th and the flat 9. Now, if you missed the first episode, I'd encourage you to watch that. Obviously, a lot of what I've said today will make a lot more sense if you do watch that, so I'll put that on the screen. The backing track that I'm playing over is available on the lowest tier of my Patreon page, so do check the description for a link to that. But most importantly, thank you for watching till the end of the video. Please leave a comment or hit that like button. It really does make a difference to how videos perform. Jazz guitar lessons like this every Wednesday. Until next time, you take care.